And let the Monday morning ruckus begin. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. This is or are things you might not have heard for Monday, October 17th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us for today's journey. What we're going to provide for you in just a few moments are 10 news stories from the past weekend, starting from midnight in the morning on Friday, going all the way to about 5 a.m. this morning, where we cut them off and then we put them in this nice little pretty spreadsheet to give you stories that we posted on our social media that you have vetted along with other folks like you and, a few other 100 Twitter bots as well. So what we're going to have for you is 10 stories that you can use for your early morning start of the day, your coffee chat from the weekend. May not be the most impressive stories, most important stories, but like I said, they're stories that were vetted by people like you that are conversational, things that are worth talking about because y'all said so. We'll explain how we got to that towards the end of the program. But first, I want to remind you of our website. This is conversationproject.com, where you can find all the details behind the Conversation Project, including ways to support us by visiting some of our sponsors, also partnering up with us to keep things going, and other things that are pretty cool. And by the way, thank you so much for anybody who's watching this on the expanded Jay Cleveland Payne universe. Monday mornings with more stories and more time to cover, we expand to the Jay Cleveland Payne YouTube page, my Jay Cleveland Payne Facebook profile, so all my family and friends get to see me up in the morning making a fool of myself, and the LinkedIn page, so all the people I can possibly get a job for can see me, make a fool of myself. So let's go on with the foolery, not tomfoolery, because that's a whole other guy. Story number one: Russian troops kill Ukrainian musician for refusing role in Kherson concert. This is a story that gets basically blew to the top of the charts pretty darn quickly. There's a lot going on in Ukraine. A lot of it is really confusing and hard to really explain in about 30 seconds. But this is one that you may want to go and click the link for the story in the details, the description, wherever you're seeing this video. I'll go deeper into this one. Right now, resistance is kind of futile for folks who are in the Russian sites and the Russian control parts of things, because they're trying to put on a good front that they're winning the war. They're not exactly winning the war, but in order to put forth that effort of that vision, stuff like this happens. Read the story to get deeper in details on what's going on, but check this one out if you are wondering about what the real liabilities of keeping this thing going for a long period of time. This may help you figure it out if you're on the fence for some reason on where this thing should be going. Liz Truss ditches another big tax cut and fires her finance minister. Liz Truss is the current prime minister of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, if you will. I say current because apparently we may be talking tomorrow about her possible ousting at the job. However, she's still in charge and she's still having issues, getting her feet underground and getting anything done. And another big tax cut that she planned to put into place is now out of place because of the financial woes they have in Great Britain, in the United Kingdom. And she also fired her finance minister. I'm not sure if he actually wanted to do this tax cut, but he was in charge of making it work, and so he got the canned. Now, how this is going to affect the UK right now? They're rallying. Their markets are rallying on the fact that the chancellor is actually sort of trying to take in charge of things. So someone else is actually playing the play. Has the stick and is taking care of stuff. So their money's doing a little better right now. We'll see if there's a power struggle between the prime minister and the chancellor, and whether the money gets right, stable anytime soon. Whether they actually push her out, we shall see. Tennessee fans stormed the field after Vols beat Alabama. One of the funnier things to see are teams that unexpectedly get big wins, and then they take up the field and they do great things and they do great damage, and they had issues trying to get the goalposts out of the building because, they don't do that very often. Alabama doesn't lose in this sort of fashion, and it wasn't necessarily a bad game. It was just not a top stellar game for Alabama. Alabama drops out of the top contention and probably out of playoff contention, since they are still pretty vulnerable, and we'll see what happens. Now, granted, they had, some quarterback issues. Their star quarterback not being able to be fully functional. Tennessee's star quarterback, who, of course, the seniors quarterback, the picture that we had for the teaser part of this thing, got a chance to get a big win in his belt that may help him propel him to a better seeding in NFL drafting. We shall see. What we do know is that the Vols, the Tennessee Volunteers, are in contention for playoff hunt now, because they beat, when you beat the king, you beat the king, even though the champions are Georgia this year. But we will see how Tennessee fares, whether they can hold on to it like they had problems holding on to the goalposts getting it out of the building, because I guess Tennessee doesn't do that very often. Let's move on to a trio of Musk-related stocks stories. Elon Musk tweets SpaceX will, quote, keep funding Ukraine government for free, unquote, amid Starlink controversy. A few days ago, Elon Musk told the Pentagon that, hey, this Starlink internet thing that we produced, that they're using in Ukraine, that they're getting stuff from, it costs us a lot of money, and we're not making any, and we're for profit. I'm Elon Musk. I'm about the money. Y'all need to fork over some money. After some backlash, which for some reason he actually listened to, he tweeted out that SpaceX will keep funding the Ukrainian government for free and keep the Starlink activity there for the ground troops and for the people in Ukraine. In fact, Ukrainian people were like, hey, we need more of these things. How do we get more of these things? Whether this was exactly just him being, Elon Musk and just kind of, mouthing off, or him saying, yeah, we got this. It seems like for the moment, SpaceX is going to keep up with Starlink for nothing for Ukraine. Now, inside baseball, Starlink is not exactly just something that Elon Musk dreamed up of, somebody designed and it popped up on the floor. There's an international consortium to create Starlink to make this thing work, and they've been paying for it all along. So Elon Musk may not be making a lot of money from this venture, but he's not paying the whole thing by himself, or his stockholders by themselves. Meanwhile, Elon Musk and ex-lover Grimes believe she was an imaginary character created to be his perfect girlfriend, Doc claims. I need to take a quick hydration break before I go into this one. Take a sip. Pause for effect. 3, 2. So Grimes, the musician, I guess, artist, is a new documentary about Elon Musk, and she goes along with this weird sort of idea that Elon Musk created out of whole cloth, the Athena thing, pop a woman who was his perfect girlfriend, and it turned out to be Grimes, and she's a simulation. She isn't real, and Grimes seems to believe that she may not be real. She may be a simulation. She was created by Elon Musk's mental abilities to be the perfect girlfriend for him, after him, trying married life and having a bunch of kids, and then deciding to sleep in his office because kids are kind of awful, which I kind of go with that one. But this is so insane that I don't know where these people come from. I had no idea who Grimes was before Elon Musk came around. I had no idea why I should care, especially after they named their baby a bunch of characters that didn't make any sense. And I don't know why I care now. I actually don't care. You guys care. I posted it out there because it was weird, and you guys thought this was something worth talking about. So we're talking about it. You want to chat it up more? Talk to me in the description. Talk to me in the comments. Email me, at me, what you want to do. But right now, I don't know what the deal is with Elon and Grimes, his imaginary girlfriend who's real and had 2 of his babies and has a music career and all other stuff. Not exactly Musk related, or not exactly Tesla related, because that's Musk's thing, but Nikola founder, using the other part of the guy's name, Trevor Milton, has been convicted on 3 charges of fraud, which means people may look at what Tesla's doing, because Nikola is not quite doing things great. Although Elon Musk says he's going to pay for Ukrainian internet for free, so we'll see what happens. Periods in this title, and we left it there because otherwise it makes no sense. I didn't have to edit it. But remote workers are going back to office. The boss is working from home. So there's been a large clamoring for people to get back to the office, back to work, because of a lot of things. We're finding out that people at home are a bit more efficient because it's not easy to bother them with other projects. People at home are getting more things done. They're also finding ways to get other jobs. They're working 2 or 3 jobs in their span of 8 hours because no one's over their shoulder. They don't have to show up at one location. One problem with the whole come back to work thing, because we need you back at work, is the people managing them, the supervisors. They're not actually getting extra jobs, but they're still managing things from home. They are still using spreadsheets and data from cameras and things like that, watching your productivity. They don't necessarily have to be in the office hounding over you over the wall of your cubicle, but they can still monitor what you got going on, and you can still monitor from whoever is monitoring in the office. They don't have to be in the location. So we're finding many more remote workers are coming back to the office because there's a lot of reasons too, a lot of good things for being in the office. But at the same time, many of the bosses, middle level to or so, who should be there sort of managing things, they ain't. They just ain't. Next story. Days of Our Lives viewers horrified as show airs daytime's first threesome scene. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to take an intake breath and then take an outtake breath and allow you to go to the description and click on the link on what's going on. Days of Our Lives. The show soap operas aren't exactly dying, and they're not dead by any means, but the people who are watching them are extremely dedicated to them. In fact, the fact that Days of Our Lives moved from daytime actual TV NBC to Peacock just to air live in the area, and it's not streaming on demand. It's it airs live in its region. It's just something to behold. People, of course, they lose viewership because then people have to go to Peacock and deal with that stuff. But just go to the link and read what the people are thinking about this story, if you will. Apparently, progressiveness not exactly making the folks that are still watching Days of Our Lives very happy. And you could say this isn't progressiveness. This is just pornography. You be the judge. Your mileage may vary. Mileage on walking the Mississippi River definitely varying now with water levels so low, people are walking to Tower Rock. There are locations, there are islands, there are places on the Mississippi River right now because of the extreme drought that we've had across the nation, and then just the water levels on the Mississippi, that you can walk much further into the riverbed than you could before. In fact, you can walk to various islands and various formations that were inaccessible years ago, definitely when the mighty Mississippi was more mighty. This is becoming something that is a pinpoint finger to climate change and issues with what's going on. But this is also just one of those rare issues times to kind of just take advantage, if you will. So if you are a person who is a avid hiker and wants to see some of these things, there are various places along the Mississippi River where you can check it out and see what's going on, and you can kind of see for yourself. If you're a climate enthusiast, that means you might want to go check it out and see what it is. Show these as examples of what's going on and why it's out there. If you're a climate denier, then you're probably going to just kind of stay in your apartment, which is fine. But this is something that's pretty gosh darn obvious, that the river levels are so low that people can just kind of walk across the Mississippi River. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn would not approve. The movie Terrifier 2, and there was a 1 apparently, has fans throwing up and fainting inside the showings of the theater. I don't know where Terrifier 2 is being shown. I don't want to know. I really don't care. But this is something that's been going on. This story has been pumped through for a few weeks. Terrifier 2 has been out, I think, since the 1st of October, since the very beginning of the month. And we keep getting stories of people freaking out, people fainting, people throwing up. And we finally posted one this last weekend. And you guys thought it was interesting. If you did not pick up on this story, click on the link inside the description and go into the reasons why. So much terror, so much horror, so much freaky deaky stuff that people just can't handle it inside the movie theaters. That is what is being shown. Teaser story for today, which we possibly tomorrow to talk about. We talked about the debate with Herschel Walker, Friday, because it was something to be held. He had another debate, or there was another debate on Sunday. It was held. He didn't show up. The headline is debate moderator saying absent Herschel Walker will be, quote, represented by this empty podium, unquote, because that's what she said, goes viral. Raphael Warnock was there. The Fringer guys were there. The real Fringe guy, Herschel Walker, did not show up to this debate. Will we talk about this one tomorrow? It's extremely simple for you to make it happen. Go to our website, thisisaconversationproject.com, and click the links for the feeds, or just go to Facebook and Twitter directly and find us. On Facebook, we are This Is a Conversation. On Twitter, we are th_conversation. Find us on our feeds, vote these stories up. You just engage with them, like them, love them, hate them, share them. The more you see and the more you look at, the more you engage with them, higher the score, that a story will get. Tomorrow through the rest of the week, through Friday, we're going to pick 8 stories from the top 15 stories of the previous day, about 30 or so stories a day. On Mondays, we get about 90 stories for the day because it's 3 whole days. And so we pick from the top 30 stories, we pick 10 for those stories. And that's how we got the 10 stories we had already. If you think we should have talked about other things that maybe you as a follower saw that you thought was more engaging, or maybe you as a newcomer thinks, hey, you didn't talk about this thing, just put it in the comments. We'll try to look for something to update it, pop it into the feeds for the rest of the day, and see if a second life comes about from that thing. Now, second lives, third lives, fourth lives, the lives of my projects and life of this one particularly hones on people like you. And one way that you can help us out is by helping yourself out and checking out this sponsor. It's called Fundrise. Fundrise offers up a great way for real estate investing. You invest in real estate just like you invest in stocks and bonds. You buy shares of a bond, if you will, shares of a real estate portfolio, and people who know what they're doing put it together, buy great properties, rent out great properties, renovate great properties, sell great properties, and take care of folks. Now, the market's now at a tizzy. As the beginning of the year, it was all sort of hot, crazy. Now it's more crazy. And so the returns at this point aren't quite as big, but I can tell you, I started investing with this company at the beginning of January, beginning of this year, and my earnings are positive for the entire year. My stocks are way down. My mutual fund is way down. My 401k way down. My Fundrise investment in real estate is still up and still has a chance to rebound and go particularly up for the end of the quarter. They give you plenty of knowledge of what's going on with reports about what's going in your fund. They give you reports about what's being bought, what's being sold, how's it's going. And right now, what makes it a great deal is that they'll give you 30 days of no advisory fees. They take a fee, a percentage out of what you input, what you deposit to do their work. 30 days, it's free, and they'll offer up some free shares. So check it out. This is a conversationproject.com/fundrise. This is a conversationproject.com/fundrise. One more time. This is conversationproject.com/fundrise. It costs you nothing extra to do this because it's affiliate link, but we did get a little bit back into our coffers for bringing you into the store. So thank you so much for stopping by this sponsor or any of our sponsors that we have. And you can find more of our sponsors when you go to our main website. This is a conversationproject.com. It costs you nothing extra for all the affiliate links we have, either here in the website or sometimes inside the feed. We'll have different affiliate links inside the feed as well. Nothing costs you extra, and the discounts that you are being peddled are there. We check them out for each team. We want to make sure there's no way they're not living up to their potential in what they can offer you. If they offer you a sale, we make sure that sale is good before we offer it to you. There's also links for our partnership page or ways you can partner up with us directly and help us keep things going. There's also, links to the YouTube page, which if you want to, just go to YouTube and search for The Conversation Project. And you can also find our link to our podcast and our TikTok and things like that. It's all at our website. Check it out. This is conversationproject.com, the home of The Conversation Project, brought to you by More Bitter Media, LLC, the big part of the umbrella, AA. October 17th birthdays. Today, things include Mike Judge turning 60 years old today, the creator, the producer, the man behind both Beavis and Butthead, and of course, the King of the Hill and those great animated shows. Ziggy Marley, son of Bob Marley, 54 years old on the day. He's still out there making great music. And Eminem, we had a story that was in range for Eminem. He has become one of the longest charting artists in history, certified. And today, he hits a big 5-0 on the day. Makes you feel a little bit older when knowing that he's that much older, don't it? Today happens to be Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day. That is Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day. So this is me, Pot calling Kettle Black, calling you out to make sure you take a little time to erase a couple of those extra icons, delete some of those files that you know you're not going to go back to working on, and just clean up your desktop. On your computer, on your PC, on your tablet, on your phone. You have apps you're not going to use. Get rid of them. You've got programs that are dead. Get rid of them. You've got multiple copies of that report that you're trying to work on that you didn't want to lose those bits and pieces from. Yeah, get rid of it. Clean off your virtual desktop. We're not asking for pristine. Just take a little time to, knock off a couple icons. Trust me, you'll get so much from it. Here's our final out of the doors fact or thing. One more thing that you might not have heard as we go out of the door. Got to work on that presentation. A study published by the American Heart Association found people who exercise while angry face a threefold risk of suffering a heart attack within an hour, compared to their chances if they were happy and not exercising themselves, not exerting themselves. I'm sorry, same difference basically. Basically, both anger and extreme exertion double your chances of having a heart attack within the hour. Now, this seems counterintuitive, but you got to think about it. Exercise should be good for your heart. Being angry should be bad for your heart. So if you exercise while you're angry, that should, be good for you, relieve stress and things like that. But apparently, the American Heart Association says different. Now, don't use your anger as a force to keep you from exercising. That's not the whole point. They're just saying if you're got extreme things going on right then, take a little time to decompress first and then hit the gym, as opposed to thinking, oh, I'm going to throw these weights around. That's what's going to fix it. Try to find a way to get in a good headspace, get a good mental set before you do that and put more stress on your heart, because more stress on your heart is possible. You have a heart attack within an hour for being angry and exercising. That is amazing. You know what's also amazing? We're done. Monday, October 17th, version 2022. For things you might have heard for me and the Conversation Project. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. Thank you so much for joining us for these things. I believe we're getting better time-wise. Yes, we're at 22 minutes, but that's the after stuff. We're doing a good job of trying to rein in on the articles, rein in the stories, and be consistent and going through that. Next thing I need is actual writers to help do these things done, but we're not quite there yet. Stop by our main website. This is theconversationproject.com, and maybe your support via partnerships or sponsorships can help me get that writer sooner rather than later. Also, make sure that you are staying hydrated, staying limber, staying on task, because you're here for a great reason. We want you to stick around for all the great things going on. Wrong quite button. But I wanted to press this button to remind you, we don't have any stories lately in this realm, but 988. This over the weekend I actually updated the slide, and now I didn't. So 988. Sorry, 8. I just totally butchered that one. So the new phone number for your emergencies for your cell phone is now 988, the 988 hotline. In fact, you can find that at 988hotline .gov, and you can reach them online as well. Still available 24 hours a day in English and Spanish. This number still works. 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255 still works and will work for quite some time, but they want you to focus on 988. You need help. You need to talk to someone. 24 hours a day. Pick up your cell phone and dial 988. Now the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That is what it's now called. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Both this phone number and this website still works. But if you need to talk to someone immediately, you can also text 988 and it works just as well. Or you can reach out to me and watch me press the wrong buttons, because that's part of my shtick too as well, I guess. Today is still Monday, October 17th. As I finish these words, wrapping things up now, you'll get the podcast version in about 10 minutes if you're waiting for that. I don't know why you're waiting for that while watching this. Thank you for joining me on my big shows, my big stations. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at the Conversation Project's YouTube page so you get this 5 days a week. Done rambling, done talking, done. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Have a great Monday.